All right, my magnificent Leo souls, gather close around this cosmic fire. Welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom, the sacred space where we illuminate the grand mysteries of the universe and how they dance within your very being. I am your guide on this journey, and today we are venturing into the heart of your incredible, radiant power. It's a reminder that our greatest power doesn't lie in what we do or what we say, but in the radiant truth of who we are. Your stillness is a profound testament that true value is found not in endless noise, but in living from the deep, unwavering center of your heart. Have you ever felt misunderstood simply because your quiet confidence was perceived as arrogance? Because your natural radiance made others feel uneasy in their own skin? Please know this, dear Leo. That is not a reflection of a flaw within you. On the contrary, it is undeniable proof that you are living so truthfully, so brightly, that you are forcing others to gaze inward. If you have ever walked into a room and felt all eyes turned to you, not with judgment, but with a kind of silent, curious awe, I want you to share that feeling in the comments. So many of your fellow Leos are wondering if they are too much, and your story could be the spark of recognition that helps them embrace their own light. You are not strange, you are the sun, and not everyone is ready for your brilliance. And because that energy is so pure and so powerful, it will naturally sort the world around you, which brings us directly to our next sign. There is something truly extraordinary about your energy, Leo. It is never neutral. When people come into your orbit, they cannot remain unchanged. They are either lifted by your warmth or they feel the stark contrast of their own shadows, and there is rarely an in-between. For some, being near you feels like coming home. It's as if they have reconnected with a forgotten part of their own soul, the part that yearns for joy, for passion, for uninhibited self-expression. In your presence, their hearts feel lighter, their breath deepens, and they feel a sudden permission to simply be themselves, free from roles and expectations. Your warmth doesn't just illuminate them, it activates the light within them. You make them feel expanded. However, for many others, your radiance can feel triggering. They may become defensive, avoid your gaze, or subtly retreat. It's not because you've done anything wrong, my friend. It's because the brilliant, unapologetic light of your soul inadvertently shines upon the insecurities they have never dared to face. Your effortless confidence can highlight their self-doubt. Your inner joy can remind them of their own unfulfilled longings. I have always believed that a Leo's soul mission is to be a living, breathing permission slip for authenticity. You don't pass through people's lives quietly. You either ignite a fire within them or you reveal the places where their own fire has gone out. You compel them, without a single word, to confront what hasn't been loved or celebrated within themselves. And whether that experience is beautiful or painful for them is not your responsibility. It is the sacred and sometimes heavy mantle you carry. Your very existence is a powerful reminder that we are all meant to shine, but not everyone is ready to step out of the shadows. Not everyone has the courage to look into the blazing mirror of your soul. Many will react to you as if you are a threat, a force that disrupts their carefully constructed comfort zone. But you are not the cause of their imbalance. You are merely the cosmic catalyst that brings to the surface what they have long kept buried. Have you ever been disliked for reasons you couldn't comprehend? Met with coldness or suspicion simply because you were radiating joy and confidence? It's not because you are wrong, dear Leo. It's because your authenticity is a standard they haven't yet allowed for themselves. When you show up, raw and unmasked, not seeking approval, they can suddenly feel the weight of their own pretense. That feeling is profoundly uncomfortable, so they may choose to reject you rather than face themselves. You are not too much. You are living too honestly in a world that has grown accustomed to living at half wattage. Because you touch these deep chords of the human spirit, it's no wonder that those who live purely by instinct are so powerfully drawn to you. There is a world beyond human complexity, a world that operates on pure frequency and instinct. And in that world, my dear Leo, you are royalty. No words are needed, no introductions are required. Have you ever felt it? That moment you walk into a room and the entire atmosphere shifts, not because of a single word you've spoken, but because your spirit, your very aura, has announced its arrival. It's a presence so powerful, so undeniably bright, that it can be almost unsettling for others. This isn't about ego, my friends. This is about the untamed solar essence that is your birthright. You walk into a park, and a shy dog joyfully approaches you. A small child, guarded with strangers, breaks into a wide, trusting smile the moment their eyes meet yours. A garden seems to bloom a little brighter as you pass by. These are not mere coincidences, they are sacred acknowledgements. Animals, children, and the spirit of nature itself, they do not listen with their ears, they feel with their entire being. And your aura, your magnificent, heart-centered frequency, is something they recognize and trust implicitly. As a Leo, you don't just possess a warm and generous heart, you radiate a powerful energy field born from the very core of your being. It's an energy of joyful play, of protective strength, and of deep, unconditional love. You don't need to try to win favor, because to these instinctual beings, truth is the only currency. They are not fooled by polished appearances or clever words. Nature doesn't care about your social status, but all of them know who is real, who is radiating from the soul. And in their eyes, you are a kindred spirit, a fellow creature of the sun, not separate from nature, but a vibrant part of it. In a world that is growing increasingly disconnected, where humanity learns to wear masks as a means of survival, a Leo with a pure, unpretended heart is a beacon. You are living proof that when we return to our true, joyful essence, we don't need to fight to belong. We are already welcomed by the most honest parts of creation. Have you ever shed a tear of pure joy because a wild creature, like a butterfly or a bird, came and rested on you without fear? Or have you stood in stillness as a child you've just met wraps their arms around you in a long, trusting hug? These moments weren't meant to surprise you, Leo. They came to remind you that your soul is being seen and recognized, not by a society of judgment, but by the purest energies left in this world. And that validation is worth more than any applause. Share with me, if you will, an unexplainable moment you've had with an animal, a child, or even just a feeling of being welcomed by a forest or a sunbeam. Because sometimes these seemingly small, invisible affirmations are the clearest proof of the beautiful, powerful light you carry. And perhaps it is because this instinctual world loves you so unconditionally that the human world, with all its layers of defense and ego, can sometimes feel so uneasy in your powerful presence. Even when your heart is peaceful and your intentions are gentle, you can walk into a room and instantly feel the energetic shields go up. You notice the cautious glances, the smiles that don't quite reach the eyes, the subtle shift in posture as people brace themselves. The air grows thick, not with tension you've created, but with an unspoken pressure that your very presence introduces. You are not doing anything, but you are, and your being is enough to shift everything. The truth, my beautiful Leo, is that not everyone is comfortable with a truly honest and radiant presence. When you live with such vibrant authenticity, you become a source of light, And in that light, the carefully constructed masks of others can begin to feel thin, almost transparent. You don't ask anyone to drop their guard, but your brilliant energy has a way of subconsciously melting the false layers they have clung to for so long. And that process, even when unintentional, can make someone feel profoundly exposed. I have walked this path myself, carrying the fire of my heart into spaces only to be met with caution from those who are more comfortable living in scripted roles. And I have learned a powerful lesson. When you show up fully as your true self, you are silently asking everyone around you, and what about you? Are you being true to yourself? Not everyone is ready or willing to answer that question. And so, in a world that often prizes pleasantries over truth, you can become an unwitting threat. This world has grown so accustomed to imitation that authenticity can feel jarring, even confrontational. But if we all continue to live behind masks, we risk losing our souls to an endless performance. You, dear Leo, did not come here to please everyone. You came to be a magnificent, living reminder that a genuine, heartfelt presence is more powerful than 1,000 loud, empty words. Being real may get you misunderstood at times, but it is the only path to a life without self-betrayal. In our journey together today, we will explore the 13 sacred signs that your leonine energy is so brilliantly intense, it can stir the very souls of those around you. Some will be drawn to your warmth like planets to the sun, while others may instinctively shield their eyes. And you, dear Leo, will finally understand why. Now, as we prepare to unlock these profound truths, I want you to truly step into this energy with me. Have you ever been misunderstood or labeled as intimidating simply because you didn't participate in the collective performance? Because you chose a moment of authentic silence over a forced laugh? If you have, you are not alone. So many Leo souls carry this wound, not of being rejected for being bad, but for being too brilliantly real. Do not dim your light, because it makes someone else squint. It is not that you are too bright, it is that they are not yet used to seeing with their hearts. And precisely because of that quiet, yet powerful presence, wherever you go, the entire energetic signature of a place transforms. You don't need to make a grand entrance or raise your voice to be the center of a room's energy. Simply by walking in, a subtle yet powerful shift occurs. It's as if a new frequency has been introduced, a warm, steady heartbeat that begins to regulate the entire space. People may sit up a little straighter. A chaotic conversation might soften. A few pairs of eyes will instinctively follow you, as if drawn by an invisible current. The room is no longer the same, not because of what you did, but simply because you have arrived. Your energy field, as bright and warm as a sunbeam, reaches into the deepest emotional corners of the room. You don't agitate, you energize. You don't disrupt, you illuminate. You are a presence that doesn't demand attention, but naturally slows the inner static in others. As a Leo, you carry no desire to prove your worth. You simply live from a place of inner truth, and that in itself becomes the most powerful transmission your soul sends into the world. Others may not be able to name what they are feeling, but they sense it. The warmth, the confidence, the truth. It is something unlike anyone else in the room, yet it reminds them of something deep within themselves, a spark they once had, a joy they may have forgotten. In an age where people fight to stand out through volume and visuals, you, dear Leo, choose to be present through depth and warmth. You are the living proof of a truth our society is slowly forgetting, that what truly touches another's heart is not what is said, but the unspoken energy of a soul brave enough to be fully present. You heal not through technique, but through your whole, unwavering, and abundant presence. Have you ever entered a tense room and without saying a word, felt the energy begin to soften and harmonize? Perhaps you simply took a seat, but someone across the room, maybe a stranger, suddenly felt a wave of courage or remembered their own inner strength. You may not even realize it, but you just awakened a part of their soul. You don't need to stand out to be noticed. Being truly, fully present is enough for every other heart to listen. If you've ever had this experience, share it below. Because another Leo might be wondering if they are just imagining things, or if they truly carry this profound, healing energy. And perhaps because your energy is so strong, you are also sensitive enough to perceive what no one else does. You don't need to be told. No one has to confess. You simply walk into a situation and your heart, your fiery inner sun, knows. You feel the truth in an instant. You sense the dissonance behind a forced smile, the unspoken fear in a boastful voice, the deep well of sadness hidden beneath a mask of cheerful pleasantries. Even when someone is weaving a story with perfect words, you sense the misalignment in their eyes, in the rhythm of their breath, in the subtle, energetic static between their meaningless phrases. Your intuition, that powerful, nameless knowing, always allows you to see the unvarnished truth before it has a chance to reveal itself. As a Leo, you don't just feel for others. Your heart has a way of directly perceiving the state of their heart. Your intuition isn't the watery, empathic absorption of a water sign. It is a fiery, clarifying light. It's like a solar flare of insight that burns away all illusion and reveals the core truth of a situation. You didn't learn this from books. This wisdom is encoded in your very soul, a direct line to the heart of the universe. You sense inauthenticity not through logic, but through a visceral feeling, a deep, internal resonance. Someone says, "I'm fine," and you hear the silent roar of their inner struggle. Someone laughs loudly, and you see the hollow echo of loneliness behind the sound. Your intuition is like a cosmic truth detector, an antenna that picks up the deepest, most honest frequencies in any room. And even when you don't want to, you still feel it all. This isn't just a video you're watching. It's a cosmic activation. If you feel that pull, that deep resonance in your heart that says, "Yes, this is me," then I invite you to join our beautiful community of awakening souls. Take a moment right now to subscribe to Cosmic Wisdom so you never miss these transmissions of light tailored just for you. And in the comments below, let's create a powerful wave of intention together. In a world that too often worships the superficial, you are a silent, powerful reminder that the real story always lies beneath the surface. Your intuition is not meant to be a tool for judgment, but a gift for perceiving the soul of another, even when they cannot bear to perceive it themselves. It is a profound gift, and at times, a challenge, entrusted to the great and noble heart of Leo. Have you ever looked at someone and just known they were on the verge of a breakthrough or a breakdown, even when no one else saw it? And because you know so much, feel so directly, you can sometimes feel exhausted, as if the whole world's unspoken truths are being illuminated by your inner light. You are not overly dramatic. You are living on a frequency of truth that others haven't dared to tune into. If you've ever just known something in your bones, share that moment, because a fellow Leo might be looking for the courage to trust their own fiery inner calling. And it's precisely because you live in this depth of truth that superficiality can feel so utterly draining to your soul. You've tried. You've nodded, you've smiled, you've engaged in the polite dance of small talk, the weather, the traffic, the surface-level chatter that society deems appropriate. You once thought, this is just what people do. But the more you spoke of things that held no heart, the more you felt your own spirit withdraw. Something deep within you, your magnificent inner fire, began to dim, as if starved of oxygen. You feel your energy plummet. Your gaze loses its focus. Your mind begins to wander, not because you are rude or unfocused, but because your soul cannot connect to something that has no soul. The smooth, rehearsed stories, the polite laughter, the handshakes where no real energy is exchanged, all of it makes you feel as if you are slowly dissolving, even while you are sitting there, smiling just like everyone else. As a Leo, you were not born to survive in the shallows. You cannot live without feeling. You cannot be present if your heart is not invited to the conversation. You don't require grand, philosophical debates. You simply need a single thread of sincerity, a glance that truly listens, a moment of shared, heartfelt silence that is more valuable than 1,000 empty words. You don't crave constant excitement, you crave genuine connection. In a world increasingly flooded with information, yet starving for meaning, you are a revolutionary. People share endless statuses and comments, but have forgotten how to sit quietly with another real, breathing soul. And in this world, your deep need for heart-to-heart connection becomes a silent protest, a wake-up call that a relationship only has true meaning when two hearts are brave enough to meet without armor. Have you ever been in the middle of a lively party and felt more profoundly lonely than ever before? Laughed politely while your soul was screaming, "Will someone please just say something real?" You know that what exhausts you is not the crowd, it's the profound lack of genuine, energetic exchange. You are not too intense. You are living in a world too distracted to truly see itself. If you've ever had to physically walk away from a conversation, not out of anger, but because it was making you feel more empty, share that below. There are other Leos silently enduring this same loneliness, and they need to know they are not lost. They are simply vibrating on a frequency that is more real, more passionate, and infinitely more beautiful. And perhaps it's because you live so sincerely that you become a natural screen upon which others project their own inner dramas. Let me know you are here and ready to claim your power by typing, "Hello, I am ready to embrace my radiant power." Let's fill this space with your magnificent light. Stay with me until the very end, beautiful soul. Because sign number 13 is the key that unlocks it all. It's not just a sign, it is the sacred map of your soul's triumphant journey. A testament to how every challenge you have ever faced has been forged into the unshakable radiance you now command. If you are a true Leo, you will see your entire life reflected in its light. Now, let us begin this extraordinary exploration together. My dear Leo, let's start with the most fundamental truth of your being. Your presence leaves an indelible impression. You don't need to speak, you don't need to perform, you don't need to command attention, and yet, the moment you enter a space, every soul feels it. Your aura precedes you not like a subtle scent, but like a wave of warmth, a palpable shift in the light itself. There is a regal quality to your energy, a quiet and centered power that makes people pause. It's not an act of intimidation, far from it. It is the natural authority of the sun, your celestial ruler. When the sun rises, the world doesn't question it. It simply awakens in its light. In the same way, your arrival brings a new level of awareness to a room. Conversations might quiet, not out of fear, but out of a sudden, subconscious recognition of something deeply authentic. Your silence is never empty. It is potent, filled with a regal stillness that is both calming and incredibly powerful. You see, in a world where so many are trying desperately to be seen, to be heard, to be interesting, you, magnificent Leo, stand out simply by daring to be. You don't hide your magnificent heart behind a mask of false humility or feigned indifference. You show up as you are warm, whole, and unapologetically alive. This authenticity, even when quiet, is a powerful catalyst. It unintentionally awakens a longing in others for their own truth, for the part of themselves they may have suppressed. I used to believe this power was something to be tamed, to be softened so as not to overwhelm others. But I've come to understand a deeper cosmic truth. Your presence is a gift.